Thank you so much, Stephanie. She has been an incredible asset and valuable member of the BCAN community for a very long time. So as the co-founder of BCAN, it really is my honor and pleasure to welcome you all to the 2025 Think Tank. For those of you who might not know, 2025 is a big year for BCAN. It's our 20th anniversary. And if you would have asked me 20 years ago if I could have imagined sitting in a room like this and addressing so many people on our 20th anniversary, thinking about all the progress that's been made in the last 20 years, I would have thought, are you crazy? Who could have imagined this? But here we are. I want to ask, how many of you are here at the think tank for the very first time? Oh, quite a few. Well, welcome to all of you. And for those of you who are returning attendees, a warm welcome as well. For those of you who've been here before, you know that I always like to start with a very small tutorial. So, the name of our organization, the Bladder Cancer Advocacy Network, BCAN, is pronounced BCAN. Like a beacon of hope, a beacon of light. Not BCAN, it's BCAN. So on the count of 3, I want us all to practice together. 1, 2, 3. BCAN. Very good. Now, each of you are deputized when you're having a conversation with someone or you're sitting in a breakout session and they mispronounce our name, please do go ahead and correct them. So, from the beginning, BCAN advancing research has been absolutely critical to our mission. When my late husband, John, was diagnosed with metastatic bladder cancer in 2001, we were really shocked and frightened by the fact that there were very few treatment options available to him. And at the time, he underwent systemic chemotherapy. He had gemcitabine cisplatin, which then wasn't even approved for bladder cancer. But it worked very well for him. But there were no other options and nothing available. So when we decided in 2005 to create a patient advocacy organization, the primary motivation was to advance research. And from the beginning, this partnership that we've had with all of you, with the medical community, has been key and essential to all the growth and the progress that we've seen in this field. From the beginning, BCAN has emphasized collaboration among different medical disciplines, collaboration between doctors and patients, with our advanced practitioners as well. And because of this, we've seen great progress. And this growth has truly been extraordinary and is now multidisciplinary. I can say that there's been significant progress made in all stages of bladder cancer. And just so you know, my understanding of the science is in an inverse relationship to the growth and the development that we've been seeing. I would say at the first couple think tanks that I attended, I could probably understand maybe 50% of the science that was being presented. And I think today, on a good day, maybe I'm at 5%. But I think, I'm a lawyer, I'm not a medical person, so I think that's actually wonderful, wonderful progress as we've become much more diverse and sophisticated. So I'm so proud and happy to see the impact that BCAN has made over the last 20 years. And I'm really excited to see what the future has to bring. But all of my excitement is tempered by the atmosphere that we now find ourselves in. And I feel the need to speak to that. The value of science and medical research is being challenged in the United States in unimaginable ways. And instead of moving forward, I'm afraid the field is contracting. So now, more than ever, we need to work together as a community and continue to collaborate and create more partnerships and projects to make every effort to continue our work to advance the field of bladder cancer, find better treatments, and save lives. This partnership between the medical community and patients is integral to the continued advancement of the field, and BCAN will be there alongside of you. We remain committed to finding and addressing those gaps in research and ensuring that talented young researchers find support in the bladder cancer community, including the 2025 John Quale Travel Fellows and the Young Investigator Awards, Young Investigator Awardees you'll hear from during this meeting. So I ask you to continue to communicate, share your ideas, rely on BCAN as much as we rely on all of you, and we will get through this together. I want to give a brief shout out to BCAN's amazing staff. I don't know how many are here in the room today, but the team is really incredible, and we couldn't be here and doing all that we do without each and every one of them. So if you are, stand up, but I'm just going to do a round of applause. So, on a lighter note, we are culminating this 20th anniversary year with a celebration on November 6th, right here in this very ballroom at the Westin Hotel. There'll be lots of tributes. We'll look back a little bit, but we'll also be looking forward. And we're going to be honoring all those individuals who have contributed so much to BCAN's success over the years. There'll be live music, there'll be videos. It promises to be just a wonderful celebration. And I hope all of you will save the date. Again, it's November 6th, and plan to celebrate with us. And tickets will go on sale in September. And now it's my great pleasure to introduce BCAN's new CEO, Meri-Margaret Deoudes, who is here at her very first think tank. She is an exceptional leader and a wonderful person, and I think the ideal individual to continue to lead BCAN into the future. Meri-Margaret.
My goodness, I almost said good morning. It's been already a long day. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Diane. It's such a pleasure to see all of you. I feel like being at the 19th annual think tank, the premier bladder cancer research meeting in North America is such a pleasure. I've been looking forward to it since the day I started the interview process, which was, I think, in November. This sort of crowning achievement of BCAN's work, and I feel like for me personally, since I've been here, this is an opportunity for me to complete the circuit, so to speak. So I've been to Little ASCO and Big ASCO, as I guess they're called, right? You know, and AUA. I've been to our patient summit meeting, which was amazing, and also many of our walks. So it's really a pleasure to be here with all of you, and I want to thank you in advance for spending so much time with us. As Diane mentioned, this is a pivotal moment for us to be in this atmosphere, and we know you're super, super busy, so we really appreciate you taking the time to spend a little bit of your day, the next couple days, with us. Over the last 20 years, as Diane said, we've been the leader here in bladder cancer research, collaborating together, building that network, of course funding, and also, as she mentioned, supporting young investigators, mid-level, mid-career investigators, and later career, to really make sure that the research funding continues. And we cannot take our foot off that gas. Because of the work that we've done, and I've heard this, I'm taking credit for something that I just got on the scene for, but during my listening tour and going to all of these meetings, I've heard from industry, I've heard from patients, I've heard from staff, and I've heard from many of you that we really are the leader in this research, and we have helped be a catalyst catalyst for some of the therapies that are coming online now. It is an important time for our patients and our families and all of us to continue to work together to accelerate that promise that we all are so committed to. And honestly, I'm not sure any of us really want to be here talking about this in 20 years. I know Diane doesn't want to be here in 20 years talking about this. So now is the time for us to continue to network and work together. So in meeting the moment and not losing ground, I want to make sure that we're also looking to our patient community. One of the biggest differentiators with this organization, and I've worked for a few, is our true commitment to not just keeping patients in the center of everything we do, but putting our arms around patients as they navigate this experience. That's what makes us different. That's what fuels us. And I think that's what is a credit to all of you for understanding and embracing that from the very different perspectives that we all have. So it is our 20th anniversary, as Diane mentioned. Diane also says to me a lot, which is good advice, even though as a history major, we can't keep talking about the past. We have to move forward. But I did want to take just a few minutes, as it is our 20th anniversary, to celebrate, in some ways, all the work that we've done in the research community to help, as I said, drive the current situation in terms of what we're able to do in terms of therapies and research and the support with the scientific community. So we do it all in collaboration, but we thought we'd do a quick look back. So if we can pull up the slides and go to the next. Do I have a way to advance? Here we go. There we go. Okay, so when you think about BCAN, we're really leading the way, right, in terms of a driving force, as Diane said. And we're driving awareness in a place that there was quiet or silence. There was no light, right, hence our name, BCAN, the beacon of hope. Advancing innovative science to bring hope to patients and their families. I think this is really important in terms of what we always come back to. It's sort of our North Star and how we think about the work and what is so important to us. We're really proud of this number. You'll see these on the walk-in slides, but I didn't want you to miss it, right? So since 2013, we have invested $11 million in research. We punch above our weight, I like to say, both in terms of our staff, our resources, and the difference that we're making. And it spans all different career stages, as I've said, transitional, cancer stages, all those. We have a really good mix, and we are adding to this, as you'll hear in a little bit as well. So this is a big commitment from the organization, the board, and we're pleased to be able to continue that work. And out of curiosity, how many of y'all here have received BCAN funding for your research? A lot of you guys. Thank you for coming back. Thanks for staying in the field. So the other guiding principle that I think we've talked about a lot, and we've talked about it just recently, Betsy mentioned this when we were doing some innovation award reviews, high risk and high reward. So one of the priorities for us has always been filling a gap. What are those gaps in research? Where's funding not happening? Where can we jump in and really help accelerate research, or maybe find that that's not going to actually accelerate research, but we are able to pivot and go a different direction. So we're the champion of those ideas and that research, and that's another way that it makes us a little bit different. We've talked about, or I've already mentioned, right, investigators across their careers and their lifetime early careers with our Young Investigator Awards, the Career Development Awards, and the Innovation Awards mid and later career. And I would say that another really important part of the work that we do is we continue to move with the field. From what you guys are learning and what we're learning from you, that collaboration helps us move and change and really respond in somewhat real time to what's happening in the research community and how we can better support patients and you as the medical community. And the last thing, I've said it before, I'll probably say it a couple more times, spoiler alert, while I'm up here on stage, but it's also keeping patients the center of that focus. And I think that this community in particular, the medical community, is really, really thoughtful about working with our patients, and I think that's one of definitely the differences that BCAN started with and has not let go of that makes us a little bit different from our competitors. So here's where you sort of get to the catalyst stuff and a little bit of statistics. There are only a couple slides here, so not to worry. But this really talks to the follow-on funding. So 35% of our awardees are getting follow-on funding. They're staying in the field. Their research is done well and leading to new opportunities for further grants. And 40% have also said that they are getting more opportunities, their career growth through networking, through building their name and recognition in the community because of the Beacon Award that they got. They're also being part of new initiatives and new projects. So that's also really exciting and a good stat for us, right? If we're trying to bring young investigators into the field, we want them to stay here. We want all of you to continue this work because we know it's so important. Oh, sorry. And then 60% of these Beacon-funded projects have been published, scientific publications. Again, letting the community, the research and the scientific medical community know what we're doing and raising that awareness on that front as well. And we've funded over 120 institutions with that $11 million. So we are all across the United States and some in Canada really being able to be broad and deep in terms of our research. The last couple slides really just talk about a little bit more about the kind of funding that we're doing. We really do focus, we have been leaning towards therapeutic research. You can also see a big winner here, right? I said I would say it again, patient-centered care, as well as epidemiology. This is sort of the snapshot of right now, and you'll see some of our thoughts for how we're gonna move forward. And this is, I will say, first of all, disclaimer, I know this doesn't add to 100%. So don't try and add it to 100%, it doesn't work. But I think part of that is a good thing, right? Part of that is the reason that there's some crossover between these buckets, between clinical research and patient-centered care, for example. So that throws the numbers off a little bit. But it does give you a sense of where we have been funding our money over the last 4 years. Early stage cancers, therapeutic research has doubled. So there's some really good, I think, statistics here in terms of how we slice and dice these opportunities, continuing to be nimble and continuing to look at the field and make sure that we're continuing to evolve our research portfolio and our funding opportunities, again, to meet the field. So that was the history. See, that was really quick, Diane. That was only a few slides, right? So let's talk about our future, or maybe let's talk about our present and the future. So as Diane mentioned, this is a pivotal time for the organization. It's a pivotal time for science. I'm not telling you all something you don't know for sure. But I'm really proud that Beacon's board voted in May to double our research budget to help support some bridge funding, continuity funding for grants that have been already approved and funded that were stopped by the federal government. And this is a really important commitment for Beacon, again, recognizing there's a gap, recognizing we can't fill the whole gap, but I think as an organization, it's important to show that we are listening to you all in the community and understand the importance of your research being stopped and the importance for you as investigators and the importance for patients. So very quickly after the May board meeting, Anne, who might be in the room, and Diane and Betsy, we worked together to build an RFA, and it's online. There's a QR code also on your table. We would love for you to spread the word. The applications close soon, August 18th, just because we know this is really important work that needs to be funded. So if you haven't been impacted by the federal funding changes, but you know somebody who has, please let them know so that we can get more folks into the mix to try and fund them. And if you happen to be wearing an industry hat and from industry today, if this is something you would be interested in supporting Beacon and helping us fund more of these opportunities, more of these investigators, we would love to talk to you about how that might work and how you could perhaps match the commitment from our board. So then emerging trends, looking forward is always important. We are actually, as an organization, about to start our strategic planning process at the end of this year. I don't think there's any surprises for anyone in this room on these 4 buckets, and I'm not pretending there is. But I think it would be great to hear your feedback in terms of where we think we should be going. We'll, of course, be vetting this with the SAB, with the BCRN, our board, many of you who are interested. But I think there's a great opportunity to look at diagnostics, less invasive, more patient-focused areas here, easier surveillance. The therapeutic piece we've been hearing quite a bit about. That's a super important new piece. I call the patient-centered piece 2.0 because we don't want to lose sight of that, but quality of life. One of the things we heard in the APP meeting this morning, which I'm sure many of you all hear as well, is the importance of mental health, the importance of sexual health, the importance of making sure people understand that their life will go on, and our role is to help support them with the next steps of their life. And then the epidemiology piece is also important. We've done our female focus survey. We know that women are less likely than men, but still often have worse outcomes. So that's something we're tracking as well, as the Black African American community, urban communities, lower income. So there's a lot of work to still be done here, and we will not be tackling all of this at once, but we will be working to strategically understand the field where you all are and where BCAN can help support that work as we move forward for the next few years. So I just wanted to take a minute before I close. There's so much more to say, and if I haven't met you, I really can't wait to meet you, and I want to make sure that I get a chance to say hello and thank you for your contributions to this work. But I wanted to take a minute to say that we're more than just research. As you guys well know, we do patient education and advocacy. We are the beacon of hope, as Diane mentioned, the beacon, not the BCAN, hope for patients and families every day. We're small, but we're mighty. And we do a lot of things. We can walk and chew gum at the same time. So last night, this morning, we sent a letter to the Senate Appropriations Committee asking them to maintain NIH research funding. BCAN, with Jerry McNamara's help on our board, had 40 other groups sign on. Little BCAN, little us, 40 other groups sign on from the cancer community to support our letter and support that statement to our senators as the Senate Appropriations Committee. So that felt like a big win for our organization. We'll see where it goes. And I think Patricia might be here, but Patricia and our team led that effort. I can't see anything because of the lights, but thank you, Patricia. And you all might also have heard some other news this week about this great guy, Coach Deion Sanders. Anyone heard of him? So I'm really proud that Mark Story on our team saw this and immediately issued a statement from our organization, which I think is really important, right? That he came out so honestly. True to Deion Sanders, I'm a football fan, so this is true to him, right? But, and really being honest about his diagnosis and what it means for him, and hopefully helping us with the stigma of bladder cancer. I think this is really important. We've had literally, we were kidding Mark, right, Alina? We were kidding Mark yesterday. He thinks he's like a rock star because he's doing all these radio and TV interviews talking about bladder cancer. But the point is that we're nimble and quick and moving fast to create more awareness, to bring more to the opportunity of our community working together and raising that profile of bladder cancer and what it means. So I think that's a really big, important part of the work that we have done. At the next 3 days will be, as Diane said, full of collaboration. As I was thinking about this, it's sort of like the Girl Scouts. We used to say, make new friends and keep the old. So some of you are new and you'll be brand new and make some friends. Some of you have been here before. There's an opportunity for you to work together, meet new folks, and spark new breakthroughs. I mean, so much has started here. We want to continue that legacy for sure. Thank you all again for being here. Thank you to the Think Tank Planning Committee. Oh my goodness. Once a month for the last, 8-9 months, being on the phone, going over the sessions, chairing the sessions has been really, really important. It's a great lineup. I think there's a lot for us to learn. I hope, Diane, I'm new, so if you're at 5%, all is lost for me, but hopefully I'll be able to hang in there a little bit better. Our industry partners, you can see we have the banners and they're also in the program book. We couldn't put on this event without you. They're not just helping us financially. We've had such good conversations over the last several months I've been involved in terms of their commitment, new therapies, what that means, and how that's going to change the prognosis for people with bladder cancer. So a very exciting time, and we're really grateful for them. And then last, and certainly not least, just coming back to what I promised the patients. And some of you have seen this photo before. This is a photo of my second cousin on the far side. That's my cousin Tommy Pilato. He was in Vietnam. He is also a bladder cancer survivor. So for me, starting on this journey, it was personal. I had somebody in my family, I didn't even know he had bladder cancer. I don't know him that well, but I had no idea. And I will say, meeting so many of you over the last 7 months of our patients here today has been life-changing for me. I really appreciate your grit, your determination, your enthusiasm, your optimism, and also from the scientific community, the medical community, how you all really care about this group of people, these patients. It's been wonderful to see, and really, I think, helps us over the next several years make that work more important. Somebody said this morning, I won't reveal who it was, but we were at the APP session, and she said that she's not a statistic, she's a person. And that's what it's all about. So I want to thank all of you for spending the time. You guys are making a difference in terms of the research and the outcomes that we have for our patients, and it means everything. So continue to collaborate, network, let's dream up some great things, and move forward.